He says here, um, be vigilant in it with thanksgiving. Meanwhile, praying also for us, that God will open to us a door for the word to speak the mysteries of Christ, for which I am also in chains, that I might make it manifest as I ought to speak. Check this out here. Paul is writing this under house arrest. He's excited about it. Paul is under house arrest. Paul didn't even say, pray that I get released. While I'm in house arrest, pray for another opportunity for doors to be open to preach the gospel. I'm going to read this briefly. Let's go real quick to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. Amen. Just so 1 Corinthians 16:9. 16:9. I'm going to learn just a short one. Paul says this a couple different times. He says, for a great and effective door has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. He starts by saying, I will tarry in Ephesus until Pentecost, for a great and effective door has opened to me. What are these doors? A door, an opportunity to share the gospel. Also in 2 Corinthians 2:2, we don't have to go to it right now, but he talks about having an open door and praying for clarity of speech, that the door will be open. Oftentimes in situations, we are praying for, Lord, get me out of this, Lord, change this if this is, but also, what if we say, Lord, like I give this to you, help me not to be anxious about it. I trust you. Lord, I don't want to face it, but let your will be done. But also, Lord, open up a door for the gospel to be preached. Open up a door that your truth may come in, that the mystery of Christ, the hope of glory, Christ in you might come out. Sometimes in our situations, we are thinking solely about ourselves. And it's not pain that is wrong. It's not wrong to ask. But can we ask for, even in adversity, that God will open a door that the word be preached? He's two things. He says an open door and clarity of speech. Why is that important? Because he started out in the beginning how so much of the gospel, this truth has been twisted. That's why he's been talking to them. In the beginning of Colossians, he's telling them, you getting mixed up in all of this other doctrine and stuff. No. I pray that I have an open door and clarity of speech. And I pray for all of us that we have open doors and clarity of speech. That when that situation that you feel like, ain't no way God is in the midst of this, that he opens up a door for you to share Christ and give you clarity of speech. Because sometimes that's our biggest fear. I want to tell people about Jesus, but I don't want to screw it up. Give me an opportunity and clarity of speech. So pray with diligence, right? Pray with thanksgiving. Pray for opportunities that the gospel can be presented. I'm going to close this here. I love it. Let's close this in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, 5:11. Let us keep the joy that Max has. Amen. Amen. He be ready. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Let me be where I actually said, and I'm closing this out here. Amen. I'm going to start with verse 11. This is the charge that Paul is writing. He's reminding the church at Corinth to be reconciled to God. And as we're talking about prayer and the need for it in our lives, with being vigilant, with thanksgiving and opportunities. Amen. 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 Amen.